I'm very happy. Very happy. Yeah, very active.
Yes. When you are ready, you let us, you signal us. 1 minute? Okay. Can go. Good, thank you very much. Today we are here as the National Council of Churches of Kenya to address the media on certain matters of concern. Here we have on my right, Asante sana. Briefly, the National Council of Churches, as well as other Kenyans, have consistently expressed themselves that the amendment of the Constitution of Kenya should be a people-driven process. The 8th article of the preamble of the Constitution states that we, the people of Kenya, adopt, enact, and give this Constitution to ourselves and to our future generations. Since it is the people who give themselves the Constitution, it is the people who should initiate and carry out the process of amending it. We call to mind that over the last few months, in response to the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill 2020, developed under the Building Bridges Initiative, all the religious leaders have advised that the process be postponed until after the 2022 general elections. It is therefore immoral, disrespectful, and wrong for the Parliament of Kenya to initiate piecemeal constitutional amendments so close to the next general election. We reiterate that the Constitution touches and controls the lives of all Kenyans, and therefore all Kenyans must be accorded adequate time and understanding to participate effectively. As the courts have ruled in the past, amendment of the Constitution should be preceded by adequate civic education and public participation. We call upon all members of Parliament to stop the process they have started of amending the Constitution. Do not betray Kenyans. Do the right thing. It is therefore unconstitutional of any person to imply that an excuse can be created to breach the electoral calendar defined in the Constitution of Kenya. We call upon the state and non-state actors that are responsible for elections to instead focus on making adequate preparations to deliver to Kenyans credible, peaceful, free and fair elections. Of essence, we recommend 5 things. IEBC facilitates public discussion of the findings and recommendations arising out of the post-election evaluation of 2017 general elections. The shortcomings of the previous election should not be repeated. 2, that a nationwide campaign for registration of voters be initiated to ensure that the youth who have attained of the age of majority are added to the voters' roll. And number 3, that speedy and visible action be undertaken by IEBC, the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, and the security agencies against any person who mobilize for violence. And number 4, that the faith institutions and other actors be facilitated to undertake civic and voter education to prepare the people to actively and responsibly participate in the 2022 general election. The process of appointing commissioners for the Kenya National Commission of Human Rights be urgently addressed. We are headed to an election where there is likelihood of human rights violations happening, so therefore we need a working Kenya National Human Rights Commission with commissioners on board. The Ncck has noted with concern the reports by state agencies that the youth in Kenya are already primed for violence in the elections, with a clear emergency of gangs and vigilante groups which are ready to be hired by the politicians. We are now at the point where politicians and aspirants are positioning themselves for the 2022 general elections. As youths, do not be left behind. We counsel you to position yourself as leaders in the political parties, knowing that the party that embraces the youth in its leadership will have the greatest influence in the elections. Do realize that no politician is spending time thinking about you. Politicians are strategizing about themselves. Do not sit back, waiting to be hired to support politicians. Do not allow people to use you, then dump you. It is a great insult and disrespect on you when people hire you to cause violence against their opponents. You deserve better. We may have 1 or 2 questions. Yes? The country does not have adequate time for public participation, civic education, and preparation of those amendments for them to be effected and for them to be passed before Parliament goes on recess. So it is our feeling and our belief is that any amendments to the Constitution will require that the people of Kenya are properly involved. They are consulted. They are engaged. Civic education is done. Has that been done by Parliament? We have seen an advertisement for public participation. But we as the Ncck and all these church leaders here, they are not aware. Kenyans are not aware about it. And therefore, we would like Parliament to shelve any attempt to amend the Constitution at this time and wait until after the next general election. That is a matter that should be handled by the next Parliament. There has been incidences of hate speech and mobilization of ethnic hatred. We have brought this to the attention of the National Cohesion of NCIC. We work very closely with the NCIC and also the Ministry of Interior. What we are asking in our statement is that during this period, between now and the next election, we want speedy and visible action, not just empty threats, on those that cause ethnic hatred and are involved in activities that are prejudicial to national security and the peace of our country. This is something that we are working closely with them, and we believe that they have the power to act, and we want them to act as quickly as possible.